Good morning, boys. It's good to see you this morning. Were we all together, the hymn that we would sing would be 97. That's the one that begins, "In Christ there is no east or west, in him no south or north, but one great fellowship of love throughout the whole wide earth." I've been thinking a lot the last few days, boys, about America. And aside from trying to look for the good news of the last few days, I've also been forced is the wrong word, but I've gone into history. I've reviewed some American history. And the last time the country was in this sort of tumult was the 60s. The 1960s, that is. And no one was in the news more talking about equality, about the brotherhood of man, than Martin Luther King Jr. And so I've been reviewing some of his speeches. You're probably thinking, I'm going to talk to you right now about the I Have a Dream speech. And that's a magnificent speech, but that's not the one that I reviewed. The one that I reviewed was actually his Nobel Prize acceptance speech, which was given a year after I Have a Dream. This is a very fine speech, boys, and I urge you to read this and to watch it on your own. I'm attaching a link to it, to the morning's message. But I do want to read to you one snippet from it. Not the way that he can, obviously, but you need to hear this. So ready? Martin Luther King Jr., December 1964, with the world watching this, we're paying attention to who won the Nobel Peace Prize. Yes? Okay. I accept this award today with an abiding faith in America and an audacious faith in the future of mankind. I refuse to accept despair as the final response to the ambiguities of history. I refuse to accept the idea that the isness of man's present nature makes him morally incapable of reaching up for the eternal oughtness that forever confronts him. I refuse to accept the idea that man is mere flotsam and jetsam in the river of life, unable to influence the unfolding events which surround him. I refuse to accept the idea that mankind is so tragically bound to the starless midnight of racism and war that the bright daybreak of peace and brotherhood can never become a reality. Read and watch the whole thing today, boys, please. In other news, I was going to give you a show of my cats because I've had boys going, I want to see more of the cats. All I see is the tail pacing around the camera every now and then. But this will stun you, they're resting. And I'm not going to wake them up because, you know, those cats really need their rest. In other news, we have a couple of birthdays in the middle school today, and they belong to a pair of fifth graders, classmates. One belongs to Kieran Sankbeal, and the other belongs to Oliver Walsh. Happy birthday, boys. All right, let's put in a good day of work.